In this video, I am going to introduce the concept of midpoints. By definition, a midpoint is the middle or a center of a line segment. So let's take this line segment as an example. This is line segment AB. Okay, the midpoint or the center of this line segment is point M right here. Okay, so that means it's in the middle or the center of this line. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the midpoint is always the same distance from both endpoints. So this is one endpoint and this is another endpoint. The distance from A to M is the same distance as M to B. So for example, if the distance from A to M was 5 meters, the distance from M to B has to be 5 meters. Okay, if it's not, that means this is not the center. This is not the middle. So essentially, finding the midpoint involves dividing a line or an object into two equal pieces or into two equal groups. Why is the study of midpoints important? Well, there's a huge number of reasons, right? And I'm just going to go over 3 examples. Let's look at the design of tennis courts or basketball courts or any type of athletic court. Some of the time you'll notice that the midpoint is really important because it separates one player's field from another player's field. And if a net, for example, or a line wasn't smack in the middle, it wouldn't be fair to one of the players. One would have more space than the other. Another example is a dartboard. And I wanted to provide this example because we're not finding the midpoint of a straight line like the tennis board, the tennis court. Here we have a circle. So it is possible to find the center or the midpoint of a circle, and that would be right here in the middle. So in the case of a dartboard, it's the premise of the entire game to try to throw a dart as close to the midpoint as possible. A third example is when it comes to balance. Okay, so for a seesaw, for example, for this to work well, you need to know where the center of this board is so that you have the most optimal experience. Now, in this unit, we're going to look at 4 methods to calculate midpoints, and you're expected to know all of them because we're going to use these in different situations. Okay. We're going to use a paper folding method to find the midpoint of a rectangle. We're going to use diagonals to find midpoints of 4-sided shapes. We're going to use math, basically. Arithmetic is math. We're going to divide by 2, and we're going to go over many examples on how to do that with fractions. And then the last one is for circles only. We're going to use a set square, and that's a piece in your geometry set that looks like this. And we're going to use that to find the center or the midpoint of a circle. Now, there are some review videos on the playlist, some videos about how to do fraction operations, about how to do algebra and so on. I highly recommend that you watch those videos, especially the fractions one, before you continue on with the rest of the videos.